This original WSRE presentation is made possible by viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Rameca Vincent Leary and welcome to this edition of Pensacola State Today. Our active duty military personnel and veterans have served our nation with honor. Many also crack the books and study hard with hopes of furthering their education. During this special program, we'll explore educational and counseling services for these fine men and women. The reality is, accessing these programs may be easier than you think. First, we'll focus our attention on the Veterans Upward Bound program at Pensacola State College. I'm happy to introduce its innovative director, Gregg. He's joined by Michelle Coger, a U.S. Navy veteran and work study student for the program. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
How are you doing, Rob?
I'm doing great, Rameca. How are you?
All right, always good to see you. So we're going to start with you, Rob. We know that Pensacola State College has been named a military-friendly institution. Why don't you talk about that a little bit?
Okay, military-friendly being recognized nationally as an institution that takes care of veterans and goes out its way to do that.
So all branches of the armed forces, and we have quite a populace here at Pensacola State College, right?
Absolutely.
Now, an overview of what you do as director of Veterans Upward Bound. Just give us a snapshot.
Okay, Veterans Upward Bound is a Department of Education grant-funded program by the U.S. Department of Education, which is designed to give veterans who are in low-income first generation in college an opportunity to prepare for college.
I think that's monumental, don't you, Michelle?
Absolutely.
Now, you are a program participant. You are a U.S. Navy veteran. Give us the backstory about your service in the military.
Absolutely. I was in the United States Navy. I was an aviation machinist mate. I got out, married, raised a family, and decided I wanted to go back to school.
Good.
And had no idea where to start.
How many years were you in the military?
I was in the Navy for 4 years.
4 years?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so something led you here to Pensacola State College. Who or what?
Our director,
Would
Gregg.
you say it's Gregg? He has quite the influence.
Yes.
I must add, yes, he does.
Yes.
So he led you. So you met him day one in the office. So you came in for services first before you became
Actually,
a work
we're
study?
comrades at the post at the American Legion.
Good.
And he was continually on me about going back to school. He was like, "You're too intelligent not to have a degree." And I came in to check out the program, and I have been there ever since.
No getting rid of you.
No, ma'am.
And nor would he want that to ever happen. Okay, so let's break this down, Rob. Services to veterans only, is that correct? For
Yes,
Veterans Upward Bound?
veterans only, qualified veterans.
Let's talk about the specific eligibility requirements, things that these veterans would need to have
Okay,
when they come in.
Well, you have to have served at least 181 days, which equates to boot camp,
Okay.
unless you have medical discharge. Again, eligibility is determined by your DD-214, which is proof of service, unless you are National Guard, which we also service them.
All right. So, Michelle, you've gained a lot through your involvement. You help a lot of people. Give me a day in the life of your service in the office. Somebody walks in, hey, I need help. I don't know what I should do. I'm a little nervous. What would you tell them?
That they're in the right place. They're
definitely
absolutely
in the right place.
Our first questions are always, what is it that they're looking for?
Okay.
And, we ask them if they already have a degree. And if they do, we make sure that we send them in the right direction, no matter what they're there for, whether they're a veteran or a family member. We make sure we send them to the right place.
And I bet that sometimes you probably, in addition to helping calm those fears, maybe share a little bit of your story as a U.S. Navy vet to say, hey, listen, I did it, you can do it, but we must start somewhere. Right, Rob? So let's talk about the academics, all right? Let's talk about the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s. So we have assessment including college prep, refresher courses. Talk about some of the areas. I know we have reading and writing, but we also have foreign language.
If you need foreign language help, also we have tutoring, computer lab, whatever you need, we'll provide whatever service. And if we don't provide it, we'll find a way to help you get to that.
So regarding the assessment courses, how long are they? Are they maybe a few weeks? Are they several months? Or give me the varying aspects.
Well, and that depends on where you test in that. The PERT, which is the Post-Educational Readiness Test, determines what level of service you need from us. Some people just need that one-term course, which our terms are usually 8 weeks.
8 weeks. So regarding foreign language, Spanish, right? Mm-hmm. Is that the only language thus far? Might be adding some in the future, possibly?
Right now. That's
right now, but never say never. Never say never. All right. We did something pretty interesting, Rob. Recently, our cameras followed you in the offices. We're going to take this step by step. Okay, so I think it's pretty interesting, Michelle, because a lot of people are anticipating, okay, I'm going to go there. I don't know what to expect. And so let's give them a rundown. So one of the first areas that we visited in the Veterans Upward Bound office, the lounge. Talk about the lounge.
Okay, the lounge is an area for everybody who is a vet and a service member or active duty and dependents. And that's just a place to go back there and relax.
Kick back.
Coffee, TV,
okay.
Couches. I mean, just to, decompress.
Decompress. I might just have to visit you unexpectedly. So you're in the lounge and you're decompressing, right? But then you say, all right, time for some assessments. So we mosey on into the lab. What can we find there? 7
workstations, computers which have everything you need to do the assessments, access internet, printing, whatever. And one of the things we're proud of, because we have a virtual session where Pensacola State has satellite campuses.
Yes,
so we can broadcast to the satellite campuses for people in our program.
All right, so I'm in the lab, writing, essential, we know that. I need to write a paper. Any time constraints? Let's talk about the hours of operation for anyone coming in that may be taking these assessment courses and they want to work on things, right?
Okay, well, we're open from 7:30 to 4. We do have classes after hours in the lab, but usually during the daytime, the lab is there for tutoring and or assistance in writing papers, or we have math programs that they can work on.
So how many people, and we're going to segue into the office space, and we might even see where you have a seat every now and then, Michelle, but let's talk about that. So regarding the number of people in there that serve others, so we have tutors, we have others, about how many bodies total would you say you have in the Veterans Upward Bound Center?
Roughly about 8 or 9. We use the work studies because they've been there, done that. And they have that information, that information that students need that they are afraid to ask us.
That's so true. That's so true. So Michelle, let's come back to you. Now, the services that are offered in the Veterans Upward Bound area, you are a student receiving an AA in social work from Pensacola State College, but you're not stopping there, are you?
No.
You plan on matriculating to the University of West Florida.
I'm actually there now.
You are. Now, how long have you been there?
I've been there for a year. In January, I'll be starting my senior year.
Very good. So social work is your forte.
Yes, ma'am.
Why that area?
I love helping people. I
Helping
always
people.
have.
That's quite evident, isn't it, Rob? So what are your plans after graduation?
I'm going to go back even after I graduate with my bachelor's. I'm going to be a part of the accelerated program to get my master's.
Congratulations and spot on. Rob, let's talk about GED test preparation. Somebody didn't finish high school. I really should have done that. Please explain that process.
We work closely with the Adult High, which is at Pensacola State, and they have the program in place that they'll work with someone who needs GED prep. All we do is provide the direction and the financial support.
Financial support, speaking of dollars and cents, free application for federal student aid, and we have to also talk about the GI Bill.
Okay.
Can you differentiate between the two of those as they pertain to veterans?
Okay, the GI Bill, again, is a program or a service that the veterans had earned for their service in the armed forces.
Okay.
Again, federal aid, whether it be FAFSA,
Yes.
that is something you apply for. That's a federal program. in many cases, you can get both.
Now, what about dependents? I'm curious about the GI Bill. Let's say we have someone who's a veteran and they have some dependents that want to attend here at Pensacola State College. Would they possibly be eligible to receive some GI Bill funding?
Depending on if the sponsor, the active duty military, is active, they have to have transferred that over to the dependent prior to them ending their service. Now, there is legislation in place right now where they're trying to amend that, but we'll see.
We know that things change, right, from a legislative perspective. Now, let's talk about some of these one-day workshops. Michelle, do you have a helping hand in any of this?
Normally, the most we do is we call the veterans and we let them know what workshops are happening and invite them and tell them the date and time and put their name down if they're coming. Normally, we bring somebody in from the outside to do the workshops, somebody that, that's their field of profession.
Specifically, stress management. Let me tell you, final exam week, final exam, stressful, people taking multiple classes. I'm glad that you have a one-day workshop regarding that. Okay, resume writing, some people have no clue. Isn't that right, Rob?
Absolutely.
We can never assume, can we?
No, we cannot.
No, you must have the proper paperwork. Now, goal setting. What should I do? I have left the military, okay, I was active duty, now I'm out, I'm a veteran, and okay. Goal setting, step one, and I know for you, Michelle, monumental,
Yes,
right?
ma'am. Absolutely.
What is the first thing I need to do? And then we also have to factor in finances. Isn't that right, Rob?
Absolutely.
Do you ever have situations where some people are really on the edge and they don't understand how the personal finances are so important after they have left the military, managing all that, financial literacy in some respects?
Yes, we do. And the military tries to prepare you for that, but what we're fortunate enough to have at Pensacola State College is they have a financial literacy individual that gives workshops on money management.
Now, you do a lot of traveling. You go plenty of places. Talk about some of the things you do outside the office briefly.
Oh my gosh.
Trips, right?
Well, my primary duty, again, is to run the program, but I have to be the face of the program. So within the community, the two counties, Santa Rosa and Milton, I have to reach out and sell.
You do.
To those other organizations. I'm very active in the community, especially with the other service organizations that help veterans.
And you are so modest. This man does so much. All of you do quite a lot. And it's been such an awesome experience having both of you in this segment. Folks, as we reflect on active duty military personnel and veterans, I want to pause for a moment to thank two fine gentlemen who always make me proud. First, my dad, retired Master Chief Electrician Early Vincent, served in the U.S. Navy for 31 years. He was one of the first African Americans admitted to nuclear power school in the 1960s. Next, my brother Antonio served 4 years in the U.S. Marine Corps. During boot camp at Parris Island, South Carolina, he was given the Distinguished Leatherneck Award. Many thanks to them and all who have served in the armed forces, including those families who show their support. As we head to break, you'll see some specific information regarding Veterans Upward Bound and TRIO Veterans Student Support Services offered at Pensacola State College. Don't touch that dial. We'll be back right after this. Hello, everyone. During this segment, we're shifting gears from Veterans Upward Bound to TRIO Veterans Student Support Services. To expand on this, we welcome back Gregg for another segment. He's joined by U.S. Air Force veteran Josh Tallant, a work-study student who always loves to lend a helping hand. All right, love that smile too, Josh. So Rob, let's start with you. TRIO, the acronym, what does it stand for?
Well, the original origin of TRIO was there was only 3 programs years ago. And so the Department of Education just called it TRIO. So
like that.
now other programs were grown out of that. So now they're like 5 to 8 more programs. So it's, TRIO is no longer, it is stuck this way.
Okay, but it's good. I like that. Okay, so let's talk about the accessibility.
Okay.
Available to veterans only or anyone else?
Absolutely.
Okay, veterans.
Yeah, Veteran Student Support Services.
Right.
It's identical to Veterans Upward Bound with the one exception that you have to be in college and working on an AA degree.
Oh, okay. All right. Now we have some criteria, right? Students whose parents did not graduate with a 4-year degree. First generation.
First generation.
Students. Any other criteria?
Again, have to be a military vet.
Military vet.
Have to be in school.
In school.
Registered in school at Pensacola State.
Okay.
And disabled could be one of the criteria.
So we have several criteria. That's good. Now, counseling services are also a part of this, right?
Okay, yes, being in the program, you have counseling service in that they help you choose a degree program that suits the needs that you have.
And like you said, sometimes people will come in and they don't have an idea of what they should do. Do they have any kind of pre-testing before you actually help them lock down a choice?
Well, and that goes under the director's Bill
Okay.
Tice, but what he does in his group, they give an assessment as well to see what their interests are.
Okay.
And oftentimes, military come in and they have skill sets.
They sure do.
As
They do.
with everything
They
else,
do.
we do something all our lives, and then we want a change.
Yeah, change. There's nothing wrong with that. Speaking of skill sets and military experience, Josh, Air Force veteran, 22 years. Let's talk about you and your service. Give us the rundown.
Okay, well, when I first joined, I was a helicopter crew chief for a few years and then switched over to weather forecasting.
Okay,
And then
meteorologist?
Did that for a while, right. But decided afterwards to reinvent myself, and so hence the cybersecurity degree now.
Talk about some of your travels.
Oh, as
Were
far
you
as while in the military?
Yes.
Let's see here, we spent 4 years stationed in England, another 4 years stationed in Germany. Let's see here, several states throughout that time. But, and then a lot of traveling to other countries just for work.
Did you ever cover any major hurricanes, just out of curiosity, during your 22 years?
We did. I forecasted here in Florida for a while, over at Hurlburt. And so, yeah, anytime severe weather came around there, then we would help the leaders around the base plan ahead.
All right, we're going to get back to you and some of the things that you have done and are doing right now. But Rob, let's talk about money again. I know we've expanded on this in many realms, so to speak, but we can never stop talking about it because that can be the one thing that may try to prevent someone from even opening that door. But we say open that door, right? There is money available. Financial literacy is very important. We also have things such as supplemental grant aid. Would you expand on that briefly for us?
Right. The Veteran Student Support Services, they have a system in place where students are eligible for aid from them I think it's at the end of the year. Along with, of course, they're working with GI Bill, and those students are eligible for the college's scholarship programs as well.
Let's talk about the scholarship program briefly, because one thing that I do for the students in my classes, I tell them, hey, listen, apply for Pensacola State College scholarships, blanket application, could actually qualify you for many things. And veterans can apply, right?
Absolutely.
Let's dispel that myth. Don't tell you can't do it, because we know that you can. So on top of the possibility of obtaining a PSC scholarship, other forms of aid are available, right?
Well, we have community partners that donate money and specific scholarships for vets and active duty military, along with the Pensacola State scholarships.
All right. So Josh, back to you. Let's talk about what you do in the office. And mentoring, I think, is such an important thing. We can mentor people in many shapes, forms, and fashions, right, Rob? Right, gentlemen?
Correct.
It could be just that, hello, how are you doing? Or that awesome smile that you have. And here, let me help you through the door. Can I carry your books? You'd be surprised how a shining example of kindness can really impact someone on a daily basis. So when we get past that and the butterflies, right, we deal with the mentoring. What do you do specifically in the office to help others? Give us a breakdown of that. I know you probably do a lot though, right?
You know, specifically for my office, I do a lot of what Michelle Coger does.
Yes.
You know, the front desk, welcoming people when they first come in, answering a lot of questions. And then inevitably, you start getting students coming through the same classes I'm going through. And you're able to answer questions and help out there.
Every question is a good question. There are no dumb questions, right?
Absolutely.
Ask your questions. And I know that you encourage people to do that when they come through the doors, right?
Definitely.
Now, tutoring. Do you tutor anyone or people that come in specifically? And if so, which areas?
I do primarily students coming through the same classes I've already been through. So computer networking,
Okay.
some of the entry-level cybersecurity.
Speaking of cybersecurity, finishing an AS in cybersecurity, you'll be finishing up in the spring?
Yes.
Is that right? And then BAS all the way.
Right.
Talk about some of the classes that you have taken in the cybersecurity program. I want you to just give us a general idea of what it entails. Some people are really intrigued, right? I know that I am. We all are about cybersecurity. So why don't you talk about that for a little bit?
Currently, for the first half, it's primarily computer networking.
Okay.
So making networks talk, understanding how the traffic flows, which gives you a good foundation for the rest of the classes that are to come.
So give us some specific aspects of cybersecurity. Even your passwords, right? Your password
Correct.
should never be password.
Correct.
Change it to something else. Okay, but give us some other things.
Good security basics. I mean, everybody has computers now. Everybody's shopping online.
True.
You're banking with debit cards, using your debit cards at the pump. So understanding the weaknesses in all those areas and how to counteract them.
What about firewalls, right? And preventative measures that parents often take to prevent their children from going to unwarranted sites. What can we expect? Because from a technological standpoint, we are really advancing as a society, aren't we?
Correct. Luckily, a lot of the computer software now, like Microsoft Windows, already has a built-in firewall. They kind of understand that people need these things, whereas, a long time ago they didn't. And so, like whenever we first started getting into computers, we didn't have the firewalls, we didn't have the dangers that we have now.
No, we don't. And I know that enrollment is booming.
Right.
It really is. And I'm grateful for that. And so the fact that you are furthering your education, especially here at PSC as well, really speaks volumes. So Rob, let's get back to you. From a cultural perspective, we deal with people from all walks of life. We are a military-friendly institution. We have people coming from all over the world, whether they're taking classes face-to-face or online, right? Mm-hmm. So from a cultural perspective, you're really out there. So give us some examples of some of the other things. I know you talked about some things in the first segment, but expanding upon those things.
Well, one thing about the cultural perspective, military is a culture by itself. So what we're fortunate enough to have in our center is that every vet understands the mission. So that cultural divide is really not there. Now we have different genders and ethnicities.
Yes, we always do.
But once again, in the military, we don't separate those.
And I can speak to that. Honestly, growing up in a military family, my dad being in the military for 31 years, we moved around quite a bit. You all probably did as well. I never met a stranger. And I told you in the green room, Gregg, my dad, no matter where we lived, always had a garden in the backyard.
Absolutely.
And one of the prime things that he liked to grow, hot peppers, which can ward off colds. But anyway, it was always a fun experience. It is that culture, right? One in which I have embraced coming from the military family. It is exceptional. So when you have dependents, right? Like myself, when we talk about these things and then we meet vets and active duty personnel, it really makes us feel good inside, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
And we still have more military personnel coming into Pensacola State College, more veterans, and what you're doing is helping them exponentially. So, in addition to everything else, we know that there are also college tours regarding TRIO.
Right.
A lot of historically black colleges and universities are visited. Why don't you give us an example of some of them, the things that are done?
Okay, one of the most recent ones I didn't attend, but we went up to Tuskegee.
Oh,
Well, actually,
okay.
I did go to that, and we toured the museum, we toured the institution.
Okay.
And I mean, there's just so much information out there that you can never get, and it's just different to absorb that when you're actually there and having the questions that you're able to ask from people who are on the campus.
Speaking of Tuskegee and the Tuskegee Airmen, I know that visit must have really been monumental for you. But when you tour places like that, what are some of the questions that those who join you ask, or experiences, some ideas of their personal experiences?
It just gives you a deeper understanding of the history, especially from the military standpoint. You know, Tuskegee was really kind of controversial in its time, but
Yes.
it's amazing to see people from different walks of life and ethnicities absorb the culture and have a respect for what had taken place and how far we've gotten right now.
And then from your historically black college or university to a University of West Florida, right? And we have a lot of correlations with the University of West Florida, don't we?
Absolutely. A friend of my master chief who initiated me, he retired recently, he ran the MVRC at University of West Florida. So there was a very close relationship between transitions from each school.
Exceptional. So Josh, all the things that you do, I know that you've had people walk through. Can you think of just one monumental testimony, someone that has said, okay, what you have done has impacted my life so well. I would just like to tell you what you've done. Share briefly a quick story.
That's happened yesterday.
Yesterday?
Yesterday. This is finals week, and so we have a lot of people finishing up their term, and a couple of people I helped specifically did wonderful in their class. So it was nice to see things finally click and to see them get through everything.
All right, gentlemen, thank you all so very much. Folks, this has been such an inspirational and rewarding show, and I want to thank all of our guests for joining us. To find out more information about our veteran and military services offered at Pensacola State College, log on to the website we are displaying right now on the screen. I'm Rameca Vincent Leary. Thanks for watching, and remember to keep it locked in right here on WSRE, PBS for the Gulf Coast.